Hi, this is Vicki with Diakonos Designs. Today I'm going to show you how to make mini Bolo memory spiral bracelets. So these are the ingredients that come with your mini memory spirals bracelet kit. You have the memory wire that has 3 spirals that go around, and it overlaps just about an inch on the back side, and a little segment of Bolo leather, some pretty colored beads, and then a little package of spacers, accent beads, and your leather ends. Instructions come with as well, and you'll need to bring snippers for cutting the beads, as well as a round nose pliers. In the little Ziploc bag, you have some metal bicone spacer beads and 2 little leather ends. And the first step, putting this bracelet together, is to get the Bolo leather onto the memory wire. And the Bolo leather has a hole in the middle that's just the right size for getting the memory wire through. So you tuck it in, and sometimes you need to twist the leather ever so slightly or bend it a bit if there's, a little kink in the leather. Sometimes there's a little thick spot in the middle. You might need to scrunch it together to kind of condense it and loosen up any end bits of leather that might be inside the core of the Bolo that could be blocking the memory wire from coming through smoothly. With a little bit of persuasion, you will get it in and get the leather all the way on the memory wire and the wire to come back through. Then we're going to take the leather end and slide it onto the wire right over the end of the Bolo leather. Kind of use your thumbnail to tuck the ends into the opening and twist it onto the leather. It fits really nice and snug and doesn't need any glue at all. Now we're going to position the Bolo leather segment right into the center of the bracelet so that when you're wearing it, the ends are on the back and the leather's right in the middle up top. We want the beads to be evenly distributed on each side. So we're going to put the second leather end now onto the Bolo leather and do the same thing as the first time. Kind of move the memory wire aside so you can get in there and tuck the ends of the Bolo leather into the leather cap. And now I'm going to check to make sure that the Bolo leather segment is centered over the wires. And this is where the back of the bracelet is. And I want to make sure that the segment is centered over that spot so that it wears nicely. Now I'm going to get my beads organized and take about half the metal spacers and set them aside to be used on the second half of the bracelet. And snipping the string on the bead strand, and some kits have loose beads, some have strands. These are little size 8 beads that are just yummy, and they have a nice variety of colors and finish. All right, I think we're ready. We can play beads. So there's a couple different techniques you can use here. You can pick the beads up and put them directly on the wire. And they're little and they kind of want to pop out of your fingers. What I like to do sometimes is use the memory wire to scoop the beads right up from the mat. That's sometimes the easiest way to go. You can see which colors you're putting on, and so you can make a pattern or avoid too many of one color in a row, whatever you prefer. And the hole size on these beads is pretty consistent, so you shouldn't have trouble in getting them onto the wire. So I'm kind of random, so I'm going to put about an inch of these little colored beads on and then add one of the metal bicone spacers. And I'm just going to continue to play beads, adding in whichever way works best for you in order to get the side completed. Another way that you can get beads onto the memory wire easily is if you like the bead arrangement that's already on the strand, just pinch a few right between your fingers and pull them off and slide the wire right into the beads that you're holding. Sometimes that's an easy way to go. You'll figure out what works best for you. So I'm going to add a few more beads and another spacer. And we're going to continue going like this, pushing the beads all the way around to the point where they're pushed up right next to the leather end. And again, just keep on adding beads until the whole wire is full. And then I'll show you how we're going to do the finishing so that you keep the beads nice and snug. All right, so now I've got half of the bracelet all beaded up from the end of the leather end all the way around on one half. And I double check. I always like to double check to make sure I'm still basically centered. So here's the back of the bracelet. You can kind of even hold that right there. And you can see that the top part of the bracelet, the little bit of leather, is centered over, if this is the back, the top is centered right where it should be. So now I'm going to get my round nose pliers and turn this end over so that the beads stay on. And I like to grab the wire so that I'm right at the very edge. This is too far out. I like to be right at that edge. And like so, I'm going to turn one full turn till the end of the wire, the loop that I'm making, comes all the way to the wire. It's not quite there yet, so I'm going to come in there and give it a little more. There it is. And so now we're going to push the beads, push the leather and the beads so that it's all the way to the end. And now I'm going to start beading the other side, just like we did before. All right, so now we're going to finish up our beading on the second side of the bracelet and come in and turn the end over, same as last time, where we'll use the memory wire or the round nose pliers to turn the memory wire under until it is right in line with the wire. And we are done. How cute is that? Super sweet little bracelet. What we also have is leftovers. So if you don't use all of your metal spacer beads in the bracelet itself, you've got a few left over and you have some extra beads. So you could make up some cute little pair of earrings with those beads, or add them to a necklace to have something that matches your new bracelet. So we named this Mini because the segment of bolo leather is a sweet little mini bit that sits on top of the bracelet, and the beads are tiny little size 8s that frame the leather. The memory wire in these kits is 2¼ inches in diameter and fits just a smidge closer than our typical 2½ inch, more bangle-y style bracelets. Because the beads are small, it feels just right on the average 6½ inch wrist. As you can see, it's a really easy to put together bracelet and would work great for kids or adults. This kit has the same basic green and purple colorway as the spring kit on our website, except the metal is gold instead of copper, and the beads are shiny instead of matte. The colorway here is a special Facebook-only offering, so if you'd like to order it, please select a spring kit on the website and mention that you want gold in the special notes section when you order. If you'd like us to send the larger 2½ inch memory wire, we can do that. Just let us know in the special notes as well. The link to the website is in the comments below. Thanks for joining me to learn how to make this fun little bracelet.